Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Florida Boy, and this is my EDC channel. Today's video, we're going to be doing another knife review. Today, we are taking a look at the Chaves TAK. Let's get into it. So, I love this knife. I really do. So my buddy Dan sent over this one. I'm finally getting to go over and do the review videos of some of the knives he sent over. Of course I did. They were kind of in the unboxing, but before I can do a review, I actually have to carry them and see how I like them. And now that I have had a couple weeks of pocket time with these, it's safe to say that I think I can do a little bit of a review on them. So let's wipe them down. This guy actually just came out of the pocket. I carried it yesterday. I love carrying this knife. I love Chaves knives. And the action is so good. So this is the Chaves TAK, the tiny ass knife. And the name just cracks me up. Overall length of this guy is 6.1 inches, and you're going to have about a 2-inch 2.75-inch blade. And if we looked a second ago, there we go. We have M390, Bowler M390 on the blade. We do have kind of a compound like a compound grind on this drop point, which is really, really interesting. I love the grinds on these. I'm pretty sure this one was also OEM by Riot. Pretty sure. I don't see I wrote it on my notes or anything, but most of the knives from Chaves, I'm pretty sure, are OEM by Riot. So Riot does a great job. You might know them for their XO and the XOM, clicky. Love those knives too. So this example right here is no exception. This is a really high-end knife. Or I say high-end, high quality, very high quality knife. Actually, I really, really like the size of this. I wasn't sure as far as carrying it because I usually carry a big knife, but really it's not that small. It's actually a good size. It's super easy to deploy. You can do, light switch, or you can do more of a push button just by, pushing. So you can do either one. I tend to light switch it quite a bit, but you can do either one. It just depends. That light switch flick is, oh man, it deploys so easy with a little bit of a light switch flick. So going back to the knife itself, the blade. So the blade is super slicey. I love the grind on this. It's very, very slicey. And I am terrible at cutting paper. Do some really, just trying to grab, yeah. Get some curly cues on there. There you go. That's what I was trying to do. So the blade itself, very, very, very sharp right out of the box. I have not stropped this. I have not done anything to the factory edge. It is exactly the way I received it, and plus, carrying it for a couple weeks. So it has been used. It works great. Still very, very sharp. The M390 retains an edge very well. Thank God, because it's supposed to be a giant pain to try to strop, or not strop, but to sharpen. So if we look at the actual the scales here, we have titanium scales, and on the back side we have the titanium scales again with a titanium clip. If I grab, well, nah, I won't grab it. It's back behind me, and I've got headphones and everything on. It does come with an extra clip that you can replace this with. This is the skull clip that Chaves is known for. You can see it right there on the logo. So he did start including 2 different clips. If you are one of those people that's like, I don't want skulls on my knives, it does come with an extra clip. You don't have to carry the skull clip. I think it's awesome. I've left the skull clip on there. I think that's what sets Chaves knives apart, is the skulls and the, it's all preference, I guess. If you were to buy this from, say, Blade HQ right now, this would hit you for just over like $200. I think the midway range for the 200s. And I absolutely worth it. You have super, super aggressive jimping on here. Whenever I look at this thing, for whatever reason, it just kind of reminds me of like a shark. I don't know what it is about it, but I kind of, it's sharkish. Gives me like a shark feeling. Yeah. All right. Well, it's just me, I guess. So you do have a reversible pocket clip here. So if we're looking at the pocket clip, we flip them over. You do have a spot for lefties, so that is very nice. Thank you for not leaving out the lefties. That happens quite a bit in the knife world. If I pop out just a couple other little knives so you can get an idea about the size of this tiny ass knife, there you go. So there it is next to the Rat Model 1. We'll do the Kubikoas. There you go. Kubikoas is pretty much on fire on the market right now. I'll go ahead and put up the Riot XOM. There we are. So it is just a hair smaller than the Riot XOM. And just for good sizing measure, here is an Olight i5T. Ta-da! There you go. So you can see it is bigger than an i5T. And I say that because the i5T is one of those lights that just fits perfect in the hand. So that's why I'm saying this knife is little, but I don't think it's that little. You know, it's got the name tiny ass knife, but whenever I'm holding this, yeah, I'm just so close to being able to get a full 4-finger purchase, but it's just a hair off. Like if you're looking, I got almost half my finger on there, if not all of half of my finger. So it is a full purchase. You have a super, super huge sharpening choil there. That is not a finger choil. See, you are going to eat your finger up if you try. This point right here, very, very sharp. So, I mean, obviously it's part of the cutting edge. But, yeah, you're not going to use that as a finger choil. At least I am not. The jimping on the top of this knife, very, very aggressive. I like that a lot. I feel like it kind of promotes the general overall aesthetic. Plus, you know, Chaves knives with the skulls and all that. Generally, they look aggressive anyways. So I feel like that's right on par. I love it. I love everything about it so far. Where is... Oh, shoot. Here, hold on. Open up the bag. There we go. I wasn't going to cut the video. All right. So what we'll do is pull out this boy right here. There. Okay. We got the tools out. Man, now my nose is all sniffly. All right, so what we'll do is just go ahead and see hardware. So, this, what is this? Is that T6? It is. Okay, so I was trying to roll this so you could see if it picks it up. T6, there you go. So on this, it's so dark. So we've got T6 on the pivot, T6 on the body screws, and T6 on the pocket clip. So there you go, T6 all the way around. Not a big problem. I would have enjoyed seeing something a little bit bigger than T6. I am the master at stripping out T6 screws. Don't ask me why. I'm just that good at it. Be jealous if you want, but it's a skill that God gave me. So aside from that, I really don't have any complaints about this knife, to be honest. Ramon Chaves, he just came out with a new knife called Street. Oh God. I know it's got that kickstop flipper tab, which I'd really love to test that thing out. I just bought a bunch of stuff though, and $400 on a new knife wasn't in the cards yet. So we'll get there. We'll get there. I think I said it out loud, but I didn't pull it out and actually go over it. So we'll just go ahead and do that real fast. Here is the overall weight. I like to do this actually on the channel instead of just reading it. So we're at 3.5 ounces. Blade HQ and the website say that it's 3.55. So do with that what you will. Why did that sound so weird coming out? I don't know. So carry profile, let's do that real fast for the pocket clip. This is one of those pocket clips where, see that? You kind of got to give it a little bit of oomph to get it over that little bit of edge it's got at the end. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I think this thing looks super cool sitting outside the pocket. I mean, look at that. Look how cool that looks. I mean, all your biker friends are going to love you right off the bat. Look at that. I mean, that's pretty crazy. But no, in all seriousness, I really do like the skull pocket clip. I'm a big fan of it. I feel like that's just part of this knife. Like, you should carry it with the pocket clip. That's how he designed it. That's how he wanted it. The only reason why he includes that other one is because, you know, there was so much backlash that, you know, why would I want to carry a skull pocket clip? What? That's just part of the knife. It's literally on the blade. Yeah, see, so this is what I was talking about. There. So the fat boy end of this right here, if we get out, let me see, we'll get out the Coas because it's like having a needle in your hand. This is very, very, so this clip has a lot of retention, and this is a lot of surface area. This is very big as far as surface area goes. The ramping is very nice here. So it should be easy, but because you have so much retention in this pocket clip, it does make it kind of a bear to get in and out of the pocket. So if we slide it in, there. Pretty easy to get in, pretty rough to get out. You really got to kind of yank on it. Not a big deal. Definitely for me, that's not a deal breaker. I really honestly don't mind it all that much. But for some of you, especially if you're not wearing jeans, that could chew up the seam on some dress pants or some khakis or something. I wear jeans for work, so it's not too bad on jeans. It really isn't that big of a problem. But aside from that, that's about the only bad thing about the pocket clip. This is a tip up only, going back to the left-handed, right-handed, tip up only if you didn't notice while we were looking at this. And overall, man, I would say that this is as good as any of his other knives. It's just a little smaller. It's the tiny ass version. And if you like Chaves knives, this thing is pretty killer. I really, really enjoy carrying this, actually. I love pulling it out because, you know, in comparison to bigger knives, this thing looks so freaking aggressive. It's so much littler than some of the bigger knives. I mean, look at this. Look at this. If I pull out, here you go. Here's a buck 110. The buck 110 is a massive knife, and this thing looks like it would just eat it just because of, it just cracks me up. It's just so funny. And the name is perfect. The Chaves TAK. Because then you're always going to get that one friend that's like, what does TAK stand for? Well, it's a tiny ass knife. Oh, it's just so good. But yeah, so I just wanted to do a review on how this guy was going. I mean, I don't think I need to go much further into detail on this. I love this knife. I love the size. I didn't think I'd love the size as much as I do. It's great. It really is good for a minimalist carry, and the action's great. Overall, it's a lot of fun. It's a great fidget knife. You can just, you know, flip it shut with your finger. You kind of got this weird like double clutch whenever you're actuating. Like, see if you see that, how it rocks and then rocks back. You got a little bit of a double clutch there, but you've kind of learned the action as you're playing with it. And the only thing that ever kind of worried me, so like if I flip this guy, we'll go all the way back. You're probably about what, 30% lockup, if that. But you're rock solid. There's no wiggle. There's nothing. I've watched other reviews of other videos on this knife. Everybody seems to have about that same lockup, so it's not just my example. And nobody seems to have an issue with that, like mechanically have an issue. So no problems there. We are perfectly centered. Yes, perfectly centered. So no issues there either. And you have plenty of access to that liner lock there. So like I said, I really don't have any negatives about this knife. Yes, it could be a little bit bigger, but that would not make it a tiny ass knife. So I think, oh, sorry. Bless me. Excuse me. So yeah, I think it's great. I love the size. I love everything about it. It's awesome. Dan, you're awesome, man. I carry this thing a lot, like a lot, a lot. This has been one of my favorite knives to carry lately because I normally always carry my Guardian 3, my Bradford, fixed blade on my belt, scout carry. So I like to have a small folder in my pocket just in case, because I'm not going to hand, if anybody at work asks me to borrow my knife, I'm not going to hand them a fixed blade. So this is, I'm kind of hesitant to even hand them this one because I'd have to beat somebody if they dropped it. Not only do I love the knife, but you know I was given it by a friend, so it's also got sentimental value. So I don't want to have to whoop somebody up if they drop my knife. So yes, great knife. The Chaves TAK. I mean, you just can't go wrong with Chaves. He just makes killer knives, man. So yeah, well, I don't think there is anything else I need to say about this. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. I post pretty much every day. I think I've been going strong for like 3 or 4 months now, posting every day. It's a lot of work. A lot of work. Show your boy some love. All right, y'all. Thank you again. I'll catch you on the next one.